I think once when we were discussing vocal music, I remember I was telling you that I started very late in my life to write vocal music. I was almost in the middle 40s, I think, when I wrote the first piece using voices. Of course, I did early when I was a student. I had to do all kind of contrapuntual exercises on leaders in different styles. So and I did sing in a chorus for many years myself. But for some reason, I shy away from using vocal, using voice and text, particularly using text. So actually, the Romancero was the second piece I wrote after I wrote a very long cantata based on the Canticum Cantorum, the Song of Solomon, Song of Songs, and was written for Speculum Musica, I think. And there is a tremendous tradition in not only in Spain but also in Spanish-speaking countries for Romance poetry. Middle Age, Renaissance tradition of popular poetry that, as a matter of fact, continued through modern ages. And it's kind of poetry that covers all the life's endeavors, from the palace to the farm. And not only that, that also reflected the life of the different components of the Spanish population, Moorish, Jewish, and Christians. And when we were kids, actually, we used to know by heart dozens and dozens of those poems. And I do remember that sometime when we had a birthday party among, my schoolmates, and somebody would start to recite a poem and everybody would come in. It was almost like folk singing. I always find very inclined to use rather very earthy poetry, very, in a way, non-intellectual poetry, and basically when they asked me to write a set of songs, I made a connection between all these poems I knew from Spanish Renaissance. So it was almost like a natural thing. Well, now I'm going to, put a note to every syllable and write a bunch of songs. And so basically there were two romances that were of probably Sephardic tradition. One was Christian tradition and one was from a Moorish tradition in a way. And to a certain extent they were as popular, as I could naturally be in terms of very direct, very dance-like, and also it gave me kind of a chance to almost release, indulge a little bit in dealing with poetry and images, since I was such a kind of abstract composer by nature. So basically the songs became almost like mini operas of 2 minutes, really kind of, in a way I mentally I would set the text almost in a stage and write for the stage, kind of. And those poems lend themselves very much to that kind of treatment.
Very theatrical treatment.
Right.
Yeah.